Hi, I'm Doug with the product team here at Sophos, and today we're going to be taking a look at how Sophos server protection can protect workloads up in the Amazon cloud. Designed to secure business-critical servers without sacrificing performance, Sophos server protection protects Windows and Linux servers from malicious attacks using a variety of traditional and next-gen methods, including the capability to stop ransomware, alert on malicious traffic detection, and whitelist or lock down applications so that everything else is denied. When managing Sophos server protection using Sophos Central Admin, you now have the ability to connect directly to your AWS environment. This read-only connection leverages native AWS APIs to enable you to apply and manage server protection policies for auto-scaling groups and display valuable information about your EC2 instances in the Sophos Central Admin Management Console. Sophos server protection now includes support for dynamic AWS environments where auto-scaling is used to automatically add and reduce the number of deployed servers. This new functionality ensures that any new servers that are launched as part of an auto-scaling group are automatically configured with a Sophos server protection policy. And when an auto-scaling policy terminates instances, they're automatically removed from the list of managed devices in the Sophos Central Admin Console, making it even easier to manage protection for dynamic AWS environments. So that's what it does. Now let's take a look at how it's deployed. Sophos server protection can be installed using your preferred deployment tool, such as Chef or Puppet, using ready-made scripts provided by Sophos. Simply grab the link to the installer from the Sophos Central Admin Console and embed it into a deployment script, or host the installer in an AWS S3 bucket if preferred. Alternatively, you can create an AMI with Sophos server protection installed, and when new AWS instances are launched with Sophos installed, the agent will register with your Sophos Central Admin Console and apply threat protection policy automatically. So let's take a look at how easily we can set a server policy to an auto-scaling group. Now that I've connected my AWS account to Sophos Central Admin, any auto-scaling groups in my AWS account will be available in my Sophos Central Admin Console, so I can assign a policy to them just like any other group of servers. First, let's go to the Server Policies area. You'll see that I have just the Sophos provided base policy to start with. Let's create a new policy, which I want to apply to instances in an AWS auto-scaling group. I'll click Add Policy, give the policy a name, I'll just call it Demo Policy, and save it. You can now see the new policy in the list. Now let's go back to the Server Groups area. You can see that the list shows an AWS auto-scaling group, which has been automatically populated from AWS. If I jump back to Policies and select my new Demo Policy, I can select this auto-scaling group and assign it to the policy. Now if I go back to the Server Details page, you can see that this new Demo Policy has been assigned to this server. It'll also be assigned to any new instances in this auto-scaling group when they are created, providing a consistent security policy for all instances automatically. Importantly, you can also see from this screen, now that I've connected my AWS account, that I can see much more valuable information about this instance, including lifecycle state, in this case running, AMI ID, availability zone, auto-scaling group, and VPC ID. To demonstrate that my new policy will be automatically applied to new instances in my AWS auto-scaling group, I'll go to my AWS console, and in the auto-scaling groups area, I'll choose to edit my auto-scaling group, increasing the desired parameter from 1 instance to 2, and click Save. Next, I'll look at the instance list in my AWS console, where I can see that my new auto-scaling setting has caused a new instance to be created automatically. You can see this starting up, so I'll wait a few moments for that to get up and running. Note that we've sped the video up a bit here. This would usually take a few minutes. Then back in my Sophos Central Admin Console, I can now see that I have 2 server instances deployed in my server list, both from the same auto-scaling group. If I click on the new server instance from the list, I can see that this new instance has my demo policy applied automatically. Now let's demonstrate what happens when an instance is terminated in AWS. In this example, as the auto-scaling group scales down. Back in my AWS console, for demonstration purposes, to force the auto-scaling group to reduce the number of instances, I'm going to change that desired parameter back down to 1. On the instances list, we can now see that particular instance shutting down automatically as a result of auto-scaling. Wait a few moments, and you'll see it shown as terminated. Back in Sophos Central Admin, we'll now see that the terminated instance has been removed from the server list automatically. This approach works regardless of how an EC2 instance is terminated, whether due to auto-scaling, continuous delivery model, or just manually terminated in the AWS console. So that's the integration between Sophos Central Server Protection and AWS. Here's an overview of the management of the auto-scaled EC2 instances that scale up and allow instances to burst and terminate with visibility within Sophos Central Admin. As part of Sophos' unified security management alongside servers, Sophos Central Admin can also manage your endpoints, including InterceptX anti-exploit and anti-ransomware protection, mobile and wireless devices, along with email and web gateways. With Sophos, it's security made simple.